The meaning behind the word Consello is to counsel. It's a Galatian word. It was chosen very deliberately because we believe that we've got the best counselors in the world in the areas in which we operate. There are very, very few people in the world who can match the seniority, the experience, the operating experience, and the relationship matrix that we have across our leadership team. I'm so proud of the team that we have. I'm so gratified by the fact that they have joined us on this journey to build a truly differentiated business. Our business is not necessarily all about scale. Our business is about having the best people in the world advise the most important people in the world on the most important and critical issues out there. And if you look at each discipline in which we operate, I firmly believe that the leader we have in place in each one of those businesses has unparalleled reach, experience, and operating knowledge to be able to differentiate what we do for our clients. We didn't build Consello because we wanted to do certain things and we thought that we would enjoy doing those things. We built Consello because we thought the clients needed the support. And it turns out we were right, and we're very gratified by the fact that the clients agree with us. We're continuing to build this enterprise all over the world. Consello as a company was designed to be able to be anticipatory with regard to where we think the future needs of business are going to be. We believe that the future is going to require a different kind of advisory business, a different kind of financial services platform, a different kind of business where it's going to be about the quality of the person in the room who's giving you the advice and how they're able to get directly into the vein and tell you what to do and do it quickly. So to put it simply, I think Consello has two things that it does really well and probably better than most companies in the world. It has extraordinary relationships built up over 3 or 4 decades of doing the work on behalf of the biggest companies in the world. And we have deep operating experience. So the people who run our company are people who've run very large companies, multi-billion-dollar businesses. They've done dozens and dozens of transactions. They've created billions of dollars in shareholder value. They've had tens of thousands and in some cases hundreds of thousands of employees working for them in countries all over the world. This kind of experience doesn't grow on trees. This kind of experience is not available in other enterprises. And where we've been very fortunate is to bring all these people together into one team. Most CEOs are focused on, building a narrative for the remainder of this decade in a way that embraces the advance in technology that we're seeing, not just AI, but many others. Economically, we're entering a period where we'll have a lower interest environment that should enable further growth across most industries and most sectors. We're looking at a period, I think, of economic stability in the United States on a relative basis, but it's very complicated geopolitically for all the reasons we know. And I think that geopolitical instability will continue to have an outsized impact on earnings power and all the other metrics we use to measure the performance of companies. The dynamic between the United States and China continues to be complicated, not just politically but also economically. And many companies out there are struggling to figure out what to do about that, and I think that is going to continue over the next year to 18 months. So many companies and CEOs are really trying to grapple with what the geopolitical and domestic internal political consequences of that are in the countries in which they operate. 5 years ago, CEOs were not spending as much time talking about that as they are today, and I think that is definitely a game changer. So we're entering a period, I think, of more stability, but also I think we're entering a period where the choices and issues in front of the CEOs running these companies are quite different than they were, say, 5 years ago. Artificial intelligence is, as one of my friends just recently called it, the new gluten-free. And that means that everybody wants to talk about it, but not very many people understand what it really means or what it does. That's going to change, because people will get a deeper understanding of its power, its enabling potential, and the great things that it can do to change the world. It has potential downsides as well, as we all know, and I believe regulatorily this will be managed properly and responsibly over time, and we'll get to a happy place in terms of how we use it and what we do with it. Make no mistake, it's going to change the lives of millions and billions of people around the world in the next 5 years. The adoption rates will differ depending on the sector in which you operate, and the speed with which people embrace it will also change. These kinds of changes are usually led by consumers first, and by corporates second, and by governments third. And I think that will probably be the case with AI as well. We in Consello have a business called Consello Tech that is led by Oscar Salazar, Oscar Salazar is one of the world's great technologists. He invented Uber. He was the original CTO of Uber, original founding member of Uber. He went on to build 3 other unicorns. And he is sought out by technologists and by CEOs all over the world as one of the main gurus in the world who understand where the puck is going technologically. That includes AI. Inside of Consello, we're building our own AI-powered, machine learning, algorithmically based platform to help decision makers make decisions faster using technology in a powerful but impactful way. And we have a business called Consello Tech that also advises companies on how to do just that. Many of the companies that we operate have thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in their technology departments and their support functions. We as a company come in as a SWAT team under Oscar's leadership and advise them on how to deploy technology most powerfully to be able to run their businesses better and faster using AI, but also embracing other technology. And we think the world is going to be an incredibly exciting and empowering place as a result of technology, and we intend to be at the forefront of that conversation, leading it, not following it. And we believe that that's what most companies around the world need to think about doing too. So I've been advising on activism for over 30 years, and it has gone through many different iterations and many different life cycles. What I can say is that the activist community in general is more evolved and more sophisticated than it's ever been before. There's more capital available than at any time in our history. And there are many funds and organizations who previously were passive investors who have now become participants in the activism world themselves, because they believe that by deploying their capital in an activist-like way or aligning with activists, they can have a disproportionate impact on the outcome of those companies' futures and the companies in which they invest. So it's a very fertile operating ground for people who engage in activism. And what we do is we work with many of the world's largest companies in helping them anticipate, deal with, and be able to be ahead of what someone might come along and tell them to do with their business, quite legitimately, but to be there before they get told. And we believe that there's a massive opportunity for our business to help companies do that better. And if you're not staying ahead of the game with regard to activism, then the game is going to pass you by. We think sports is an incredible opportunity for Consello and in general for many of the largest companies in the world who like to participate in sport in various different ways, but also individuals, high net worth individuals and organizations who want to invest and do business. So the entire paradigm around sports is changing. Sports as a business is evolving. Inside of the individual sports, the way these businesses are being run as businesses is changing. Some of them still have a long way to go, but some of them are incredibly evolved and incredibly sophisticated. And we believe that the crossover between the corporate world and the sporting world and the people who participate in it has never been greater, and the opportunity has never been broader. And so we set up Consello's sports business called Strive, because we believe that we have a unique position in the market to be able to do what we do in that area. And what we do in that area is invest our own capital, co-invest alongside others in teams, in leagues, in adjacencies around sports and entertainment. Separately, we advise companies, leagues, teams, individuals in how they participate in the sports and entertainment space. Third, we are advisors and creators alongside people in the world of content and IP. And then fourth, we have a leadership development business where we believe, especially the people who are the iconic leaders in sports that are part of our business, we have an opportunity to build a curriculum-based advisory business around leadership development, drawing on the experiences of their sporting careers to bring life lessons to some of the biggest companies in the world and help their leaders evolve. The entire philosophy behind our private equity fund is to invest in tech-enabled business services and opportunistically invest in other areas, but primarily in tech-enabled business services. And the reason we do that is because we all have a strong background in that area, including myself, and so we understand how these businesses operate, but also how clients would like to use them and the services they can provide. Our first investment was in ProSearch, which is an e-discovery business, one of the world's leading e-discovery businesses, where it collates, collects, analyzes, documents and reviews critical information involved in complex litigation matters for many of the biggest companies in the world. And so it fits very well with what we do as a company, because we already have a large list of clients that would use ProSearch's services already, and a whole host of relationships around the world where we feel there's an opportunity to grow those relationships. And so this is a very, very apt investment for us, because we believe we can grow the business. We have a very strong leader in Julia, who runs the company, and she is heavily invested in its future. And to me, it's an optimal investment in every way, and fits very well with the story and the narrative that both ProSearch has in the world, and also which Consello has from an investment standpoint.